X marks the spot. Let's have a look at how these X versions of these golf balls perform with an iron. So the balls I have in question are the Titleist Pro V1X 2025, and then we've got the PXG Extreme Tour X, and then we've got the Mizuno Pro X golf ball, and then we've got the Srixon Z Star XV. So not quite an X, an XV, an extra V, they've got an extra letter on it. Taylormade TP5X, and this is the PX one. And then we've got the Callaway Chrome Tour X. And generally with these golf balls, if someone isn't quite spinning the ball enough, if they've got a little bit too low spin because their irons are a bit stronger or their clubs are designed to like spin the ball low and get more distance, and they've got a little bit of pace to them, I'll choose these X golf balls to increase that spin. And it's an easy way to do it because you can just change your choice in golf ball and go, oh, there's an extra 1,000 spin compared to something like an 80-333 or whatever it is. But I want to see what these balls do head to head. I'm going to kick things off with the PXG. Now my target spin rate with an iron is 6,000 spin, but generally in retail we're sort of aiming for 5,500 to get the ball to spin enough to stay in the air and land on the green and stop. If you launch the ball at 3,500-4,000 spin, it can land on the green and just run out too far, so you don't get the ball to hold onto the green. But sometimes that spin rate does make the ball go further, so you go, oh, I'm hitting the ball further, but just think how it then connects to the rest of your game. Also, if you spin the ball at 3,500-4,000 and you get in the semi-rough or the rough and you just trap a little bit of grass in between the face and the ball, and that 3,500 turns into 2,500, that ball is gone. That ball is going too far and you're not going to get your yardage, you're not going to get your performance. That's why I target 6,000 spin, because if I trap a bit of grass and it drops down to 5,000, it's still going to hold on the green. That's part of the idea behind getting that spin rate right on your irons. And I have had fittings before where someone's come in because they want new golf clubs. And as it turned out, I just needed to get them out of a Srixon distance and into a proper golf ball. And then the irons they already had performed perfectly. But here we go, PXG Extreme Tour X. And yes, you need to change your voice when you say the name of this golf ball. A little bit pulley, but drop and a little bit release. So I want 2 decent shots from each golf ball. So 2 shots that kind of do the same sort of thing. And I feel like the strike was consistent with the rest of the grouping. I've got through them very well, but turn them left. There we go. That's a very nice one. I've pushed it 4 inches. Drop and stop. Or just that little overturn. Right, there'll be 2 good ones in there. And then we go Mizuno Pro. And I do like the new writing on this. The last one just had that kind of like little Mizuno sign on it in bigger, but it's actually got the full word written. Mizuno Pro X in Mizuno Blue. Or groove thin and pulled. Sort your swing out, Fred. That's not the golf ball's fault. There it is. Does seem to be a little bit shyer. So I'm having a look at this. In an older video you'll see that I'm looking at these golf balls in the wedges. After this video I'm going to do it in the drivers to see how the drivers perform in terms of ball speed, launch and spin and all that fun stuff. Let's have a look. Srixon Z Star XV. And you'd be surprised at how much a golf ball does make a difference. I mean, when we're looking at the same category, I wouldn't normally expect a massive jump, but we'll find out here if there is such a thing. But again, the golf ball is a very good tool to use to target certain launch characteristics, certain launch data. That was a bit of a toe slap pull. Doing well today. There it is. Straight at the pin and drop and stop. Ooh, almost. Yeah, good. Same thing again. And spin looking pretty good. Let's go Pro V1X, because the Pro V1X is kind of like our sort of benchmark golf ball, because, you know, it's a market leader and stuff. Yep, good comparable shot, good comparable strike. Just hugging the left side of the green, drop and stop-ish. Yep, absolutely ripped it. Pushed it, what, 2 yards? On the green, stopping nice and quick. Good stuff. And then we go. Nearly dropped it. TP5X. Tiny bit toey. Tiny bit. But we've got there, and it's not doing bad. Slight push, maybe a slight overreaction from the shot before. I'm still sort of like close to the pin enough, but just want to give them slightly fairer strikes. There's one. Straight at it, got through the ball well. Through the ball being a big factor of playing good golf. Let's go one more. That was awful. There it is. Nicely done. Right, TP5X, fair shout, few balls on the green. And then the Callaway Chrome Tour X. Now I am expecting big things from this golf ball, but I haven't put it toe to toe with the other golf balls in this category. I just know it does what it does. Just want to see like how much it does it, how well it does it. Compared to the right sort of group of comparison golf balls. Now if I'm using this golf ball against like a Titleist AVX for example, and someone's like not getting enough spin out of that AVX, I know this is just going to be a massive increase, but we can do that with other brands as well. It's just kind of getting a gauge of like which one would be the better one to kind of look at. Or is there like one that does it just as good at a different price point? Two decent shots. Nope. Let's have a look at the numbers. And just for reference, the number I have on here is 183. When I go down the grip, I get 175. If I change my golf ball, that number will change. I will get a different flight out of it. I will get a different carry out of it. So I need to choose my golf ball to solidify how consistently this number happens. So you can go away, you can go away. So one of these shots I'm deleting out here went high and right, but we did get 7,350 spin. Obviously a bit slower, I kind of nearly shanked it. Mizuno, all three the same number. That one's kind of the outlier there. No, that one's the outlier actually. I'm gonna leave all three Mizunos in. You're an outlier, you're an outlier, you're pretty good, you're an outlier. So, place to start with is the peak height, 114 on the Z Star XV, and I've kind of kept more shots in some of these just because they're all doing the same sort of thing and there's nothing like majorly different from them. Apart from that one there in the TP5X, that did come out slower. But we've got peak height 114 on the XV, 119 on the Pro V1X, so a tiny bit higher. 117 on the TP5X, about the same, so just that little bit lower on the Srixon. A bit lower on the PXG Extreme Tour, coming down to 110. And then we've got 108 on the Mizuno Pro, so again lower, but we can get up to 115. 114, 115 on the Chrome Tour X, it's done the same thing twice. And then angle of descent, we're looking at 49.3, so a nice steep angle of attack on the Callaway Chrome Tour X, 48, 48.1 on the Mizuno and the PXG Extreme, 49 TP5X, again holding up well against the Callaway Chrome Tour X, 49 Pro V1X, so Titleist, Taylormade, Callaway, the same sort of angle of a descent. And then just a flick under with the Srixon Z Star by 0.3 say, but still coming in steep enough to have control. So if we get the comparisons right on here, so we get these 6 numbers in here. So I've got the shortest ball there being the Mizuno Pro X, but it's got nice healthy spin. It's got 5,900 spin. It's just doing it slightly slower. All the other balls, same, just above. Chrome Tour X is the fastest golf ball. Again, now it's only fractional, it's only just faster than the TP5X, but it is the fastest ball in every test I've done in the Callaway series of golf balls. They say it's got a more energetic core, and I kind of agree because I haven't seen it not do this. But we're pretty good toe to toe, Srixon to Pro V1, and then just slightly better on the Taylormade and the Callaway. PXG Extreme X, about the same. Mizuno just lost its spice a little bit. Highest launch Pro V1X, and then all these are launching lower. So Chrome Tour X and PXG Extreme are launching the lowest. And then we just go a flick above in the TP5 and the Srixon, and then up again in the Titleist. My delivery actually, so things to note, my speed wasn't any slower with the Mizuno ball, but I did get a bit less out of it. I got a little bit more speed out of the Srixon golf ball, and then I'm still 96, I'm still 96 and a half in the Callaway, okay. So I have given it half a mile an hour more, but Efficiency is really consistent with all of these, Titleist, Taylormade, Callaway and PXG. Efficiency just dropped a little bit on the XV for me and dropped even more on the Mizuno Pro, so not as good with the Mizuno Pro. My delivery path is in to out on all of them, 4.5 to 2.5, so a little bit more variance than I would like, but I'm hitting down on the golf ball about the same all the way through, 5.5, 5.5, 4.3, so I'm slightly less down on the Pro V1X, and then I'm the same again with the Srixon. But carries are all there or thereabouts. Okay, I've dropped in the Mizuno, but I've got 187, 185, 188, 186, 187. There's nothing to really throw my numbers out that are in on the clubs here, but they're going to be coming in with different amounts of control with it. Chrome Tour X, 6,500. If I go down to the TP5X, I've got 900 different. So I definitely get less spin on the TP5X compared to the Chrome Tour X, but I get very similar like ball speeds on there. If you go back and look at the wedge video and then go forward and look at the driver video to see how they perform, because you might prefer one over the other. You might go, oh, I need less spin, or you might go, oh, I need more spin. So then you lean towards one brand based on that. But Pro V1X being the benchmark, it's just got slightly more spin than the XV, not by a lot, and then slightly more spin than the TP5X, but not as much as the Chrome Tour X. So if you're not getting enough spin out of that Pro V1X, then jump over here. But don't forget to look at the wedges and the driver, just to make sure you're not compromising something else elsewhere in the bag. But there we go, very similar carry numbers in all of these golf balls, but quite different spin rates and flight profiles between them. Consider that when you're looking at these golf balls compared to each other, because you just want to encourage the flight that you want. If you hit the ball a bit too low with not enough spin, you want a golf ball that's going to give you a bit more lift. If you don't get enough spin in your 7-iron, you're going to struggle to hit your 5 and 4-iron. If you get really healthy spin with your 7-iron, you're going to find your 5 and 4-iron much easier to maintain distance. You're not going to lose as much from it. So it is a very important factor. But let me know in the comments what you think of that. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see future videos, because the next one is going to be the drivers with these golf balls, and I am very much looking forward to it. And after this series of golf ball tests in these golf balls, I'm going to have a look at the triple diamond Callaway, the left dash Titleist, and I'm going to have a look at the Srixon Z Star Diamond.